Hey guys, welcome to this week's review of The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 16, Episode 3 review. Let's get into it. Nothing really happened this episode. I mean, things happened this episode, but nothing really happened this episode. It was alright. Um, it is the third episode, and I know usually it takes time for things to really start to build up and get interesting. I also think it's because we have like half the cast is new, right? So I guess I'm still getting to know everybody. I'm still figuring out, okay, do they make sense as a group and all hanging out together? I don't quite know yet because we've only got one group scene, which was Heather's party. But so far, we've seen them kind of like off on their own. So I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling about the new people. But it takes time to get used to new people. So I'm not going to be too harsh on them. But it's just, it's not even the people. It's just more so I want to see how they all blend together because to me, Shannon, I don't know, like, is Shannon on her way out? It feels like it. It feels like they're phasing her out because why didn't they bring in somebody that was a friend of Shannon? Because it feels like Shannon is all on her own, right? It doesn't really seem like she really gets along with everybody. Like, okay, her and Noella are starting to talk, but I don't know. I'm not really buying it. I just feel like if they weren't filming a show together, they wouldn't be friends. I don't know. Why am I so pessimistic? I shouldn't be like that. And I shouldn't break the fourth wall, okay? I should just, go with the assumption that they're all best friends and this is real life and yada yada yada. Whatever. Okay, let's get into the review, okay? Let me stop rambling. What happened? What is there to review? Okay. Noella. I'm going to go instead of chronological order, I'm just going to go character by character, really and truly. So, let's start off with Noella, right? It turns out she's getting a divorce. Her husband owes the IRS money and all this drama and oh my god. It is just really weird to me because the first time we're introduced to her, her husband is called Sweet James. And if you have to call yourself Sweet James, something tells me you're not too sweet. You're probably sour. I'm sorry, okay? She was like, our marriage is amazing. He's the nicest person in the world. And da 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 da. And literally the next episode, oh, he filed for divorce. And I don't know where he is. He's in Puerto Rico. I was like, what? Now, I knew this stuff was coming out because we heard about it before, obviously, the season premiered. But honestly, I thought this would come out mid season. I thought we would at least get, a couple of episodes with her and her husband hanging out, doing something, going to eat. I thought we would get something. But literally, like, we're introduced to her, and the next episode, yeah, we're getting a divorce. Huh? Now, I know that's not her fault, so I'm not blaming her on that, but it's just really, I mean, it is kind of like, it's not like Gina, right? But it's kind of like Gina's situation where she came on the show and she says she has this husband, but we never see this husband, and this husband's never around. And then later we find out that he's having an affair and everything. And, I can't say you're the demise of your marriage is bad timing. I mean, you couldn't wait till second season for your marriage to fall apart. I mean, that would be terrible to say. I can't say that, right? She doesn't control the timing. I mean, some people would say, well, was her marriage falling apart when she applied for the show and she kind of just used her husband to get a spot, and then once she guaranteed her spot, then she orchestrated the divorce and everything. Like I don't think so. I just think the timing is what it is. I don't know. It's giving me very much Erica Jane tease. Not exactly, but kind of. I mean, wait a minute. I mean, it's pretty similar because both are lawyers. So what lesson am I learning here? Don't marry a lawyer? I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, it sucks. It sucks. It is what it is, I guess. And hopefully, you know what, she makes a splash on this season. It seems like she will. It seems like people will gravitate towards her. I don't know yet. So hopefully this will be an income for her because it seems like he left her with absolutely nothing. And I can't really formulate too much of a opinion on this because we don't really know her. We don't know her husband. We don't know her situation. And then all of a sudden we're like, we the audience, we're kind of hit with all this, and it's like kind of hard. Like, yeah, I feel bad for her, but like, this is gonna sound terrible, I know what it is, but I hate to say it, storyline wise, I don't know. I don't want to say it's not interesting because that sounds terrible, but it's kind of not too interesting because we don't know her. I think if we knew her and we were more like invested in her and we got to see her marriage and everything, and then there was a demise, I know, terrible, it would be a little bit more interesting, but now it's kind of like we're just hit with all this information that we got from the blogs already, and I don't know, her reaction seems genuine. It seems like that's what she's genuinely going through. It is what it is. It that really sucks. That really sucks. You know, you come onto the show thinking that you're gonna bring the fashions, and which she did at Heather's party anyways, and then you know, he cuts off all your credit cards and everything, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's effed up. I don't even know why he would do that. I mean, I'm not surprised, right? And he doesn't want to sell the house in Puerto Rico. Does he have like a side chick or something in Puerto Rico? Does he have a family in Puerto Rico that he's keeping in that house? Like, what's going on with that? So I don't know how much more we're gonna know or how many details or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like I said, I feel bad for her. I can't even imagine. And oh my. And you know, that's why they say, you know, store some money away. I hope she has expensive jewelry or something, because that's effed up. Let's move on, okay? Shannon and this whole Nicole thing and Nicole suing Heather and yada 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 nonsense, right? Shannon, this is my feeling on it. Like, okay, fine. Shannon was super shady. We get that, right? She was shady. You know, I don't know if she wanted this to be something that got out on television, or she was drinking and, you know, she drank a little too much and she had gossip and she decided to share with Gina and Emily because they were having fun. And yeah, I can get that. In real life, you know, if you see someone and you're like, oh my gosh, they're friends? But wait a minute, didn't she sue her husband way back then? That's weird. Why would they be friends? Like, that's completely reasonable, right? And I can understand why you would let it slip, especially if you've been drinking. Okay, it is what it is. And at the end of the day, nothing came of the lawsuit, right? Heather is okay, her husband is okay, Nicole's okay, everybody is okay. So I don't understand why Heather is so mad. To be honest, I get Heather feeling some type of way, but I feel like Heather is just taking this too she's taking it a little too far for me. I don't know. Right? And it's funny because they showed a flashback with Heather and Shannon and their whole interaction. And I told you guys, I just started watching Orange County. Orange County. Orange County. I just started watching, right? So I didn't watch the show when Heather was on, but I've seen clips. I've seen hella clips, okay? And I've seen hella clips with Heather and Shannon. And from those moments, especially when they showed that scene with the whole chair thing, that was totally Heather. I feel like Heather kind of low key gaslights, right? And tries to make other people look crazy. You know what I mean? I feel like she does passive aggressive digs, and then when someone reacts in a direct way, then she goes and say, "Oh my gosh, you're crazy. I don't know why you're so upset. I don't know why you're overreacting." Yeah, I'm overreacting because you're making certain digs and you're making jokes at my expense and you're trying to infer certain things and I know what you're doing, right? But because Heather does it in such a, I don't know, like in a shady way, right? That she always kind of looks, you'll never see Heather sweat, right? So you will be the one that looks crazy. And that's what I feel like happens with Shannon and Heather. Even though Shannon is a little cuckoo, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say that Shannon doesn't have her moments, but in those clips that I've seen, I feel like Heather, Heather is the one that's adding 20 on 10 with a lot of those situations, and I do think she instigates them as well. So she's not innocent to me completely, and I totally understand her being upset, but I feel like she's just taking this a little too far. You know what I mean? It's like she doesn't like Heather, so she's just looking for I mean, she doesn't like Shannon, so she's just looking for an excuse to not like Shannon. Right? Because you know how it is. They're all forced to kind of hang out with each other even though they really don't like each other because it is their job. So they can't just not like somebody. They have to have a reason. You have to have a reason not to like somebody, and Shannon gave that reason. Um so Shannon did meet with Nicole, I believe, right? And Shannon apologized, right? Because Shannon was like, "Yo, I just thought it was kind of weird that you would be friends with somebody you sued. That's a little weird to me." Right? We still don't know the details, and to be honest, I don't completely understand how someone forced you to sue somebody and then it didn't work out. And I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to wait till the reunion to get more details on the lawsuit, right? But it is what it is. It didn't come to fruition, so I'm happy that Nicole decided not to hold a grudge and be more forgiving. And it's funny that like Heather is super bad, but like Nicole's like, okay, whatever. And I think part of that is because Nicole is kind of new to the group, right? So I think it's more strategic for her to forgive Shannon. The more the merrier, the more people to film with. Versus Heather. Heather is like, she's not an OG, but she has established her spot. So she doesn't really have to kiss any ass. If she doesn't want to like Shannon, she doesn't have to like Shannon. Right? Because she's Heather Dubois, or whatever her, I don't know what her name is. Dubrow? Hi, yeah, okay. Right, so whatever, Nicole forgave her, and it's like whatever. It's not a big damn deal. I mean, the only one that should be kind of upset is Heather, I guess, if she didn't want, I mean, not Heather, Nicole, right? If she didn't want her private medical records out there, like if she doesn't want people to know she had a botched boob job or whatever. But it doesn't seem like she's trying to hide that information, so it is what it is. Um, so Shannon and Emily, not Emily, Gina. Shannon and Gina, they have a conversation, right? Because Gina's mad at Shannon because Shannon told Heather that Gina and Emily can be trusted, right? And Shannon's mad at Gina. Did I get that right? Shannon's mad at Gina because she feels like, why the hell did you go tell Heather at her not her birthday party, but at her party, what I told you? You know, it's not even your business. Why did you get involved? And you made me look like a jerk. Now Heather is mad at me, and she doesn't want to forgive me for, she wants to drag it on and make it a big deal and have a moment and have a scene. And oh my gosh. Ultimately, ultimately, I'm glad that Shannon and Gina decided to move on from this, because I know it's only the third episode, but you know how it is with some of these franchises. They have one little moment and then they drag it on the entire season. And then we keep getting these back and forth about nonsense, right? I mean, this was entertaining for a couple of episodes now. Okay, Heather's party, that was a good episode. I think that was just last week's episode. I don't know. We're on the third episode, but watching this episode felt like I was watching the fifth episode or something. I don't know. I was just really over it at this point, right? So I don't want to hear about this whole suing lawsuit thing again. Okay, I will tolerate maybe the next episode. I will tolerate two more episodes, right? But after the two episodes, I don't want to hear about this again. I truly don't. I don't want to hear about this again until the reunion, because it's really, who cares at this point, right? So, Shannon and Gina have their moment. Gina and Emily, are they trustworthy? No, they're not. No offense. I mean, in real life, maybe they're trustworthy. I don't know them in real life. But from what I see on the show, Emily and Gina are not to be trusted. Shannon is not to be trusted. So, can you really be so offended? And it's like, you want to get mad about Shannon saying you can't be trusted, and when you literally did something to prove that you can't be trusted, right? And yeah, I can understand, okay, you keeping the secret from Heather reminded you of your husband cheating on you and taking you to his mistress's barbecue. Oh my gosh. Like, wow. Okay. I get that trigger, right? And I get it is an awkward situation, but if this was real life, right? And you don't even know this person, right? And your friend tells you something about that person and you don't even know them like that, and you go to that person and you start telling everything that your friend said to that person, is that someone to be trusted? No, technically, no. That would not be a friend that you could trust, right? Now, I give Gina. Is her Gina? Yes, Gina. I give Gina grace because I know they're filming a reality show. Okay? And obviously, if you say stuff on camera, I mean, I feel like it's kind of fair game because the person's gonna see what you said anyway. So if you kind of just cut the middleman and say it directly to their face, then I'm not gonna fault you too much. I know that you guys are putting on a show and it has to be entertaining and there has to be conflict, right? But in real life, if Gina did that to somebody, she wouldn't be considered a good friend, or at least she wouldn't be considered a friend that you could trust. You wouldn't want to go and tell her anything because she would go and tell everybody your business. So, sorry, Gina and Emily, you're not to be trusted. Even Emily, when they showed the flashback of the exchange with her and Nicole, I mean, Emily was being hella messy. She was fishing for dirt, right? So, you're not really trustworthy either. You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm going to give Emily grace because this is a reality show and Emily was asking the questions that we want to know, right? So I give her grace. But in real life, if Emily were to do what she did in real life, I mean, that wouldn't be a trustworthy person. Sorry. It is what it is. But like I said, I think Shannon knew what she was doing. I don't think Shannon was just this innocent, like, oh, let me trust Emily and Gina, unless she had too much to drink. But she even said it on camera or hinted to something on camera. So if you hint at something on camera, you know what you're doing. You do, right? But, thankfully nothing really came out of it. So hopefully everybody should be able to move on. Heather. Okay, Heather. I'm going to give you 2 more episodes to be mad about this. 2 more, and that's it. You don't have to like Shannon. I don't really think Shannon likes you, but Shannon doesn't have any friends on this show, so I think she'll try really hard to kiss her ass. But 2 more episodes, okay? 2 more. What happened? What else happened? I guess Emily had a scene with her family and they talked about her daughter getting baptized and becoming a Mormon. Okay. That's whatever. Cool. And then I guess Jen, is her name Jen? I'm going to assume her name Jen. The plastic surgeon lady, okay? She has a scene with her mom and her family, and it was an okay scene. I mean, we don't really know her yet. That's the thing. Like, it's hard to comment on anybody because you don't really know anybody. I don't know. Like, I don't want Tamara back, and I don't necessarily want Vicky back, but I guess that's kind of the thing when you have to get used to everybody again, And like Kelly, oh my gosh. I know Kelly's terrible, but like I low key miss her, right? I don't think I miss her. I think she's just familiar. So you know what? It's just gonna take time. It is what it is. But so far, I don't know. It's okay. It's okay so far. Hopefully, things will start to pick up. We definitely need more group scenes, and it seems like we're gonna get that next episode. So, yeah, that's everything, guys. See ya.